All right. Whew. Just made it. I just made it here. Good morning. Hey Janelle. Good morning. Who we got going on here? Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Amanda. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Rachel. Hey, Kat. Hey, Jackie. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, Amy, take a pic and tag me in it. Good morning. Hi, Christine. Hi, Rosa. What do we got going on here? Hey, Krista. Hi, Lori. Oh my goodness. Hey, Cassie. Good morning, Stephanie. Good evening, Sarah. And hi, Scott. How's everybody doing? Um, how are you today? Happy Friday. So here in Central PA, we finally got real snow, and I feel kind of bad for my kids because last night it was a 2-hour delay, which means they would have had time to just like play in the morning, and then it got to be too snowy. So now they're having a remote learning day, which starts at 8:30, which is even earlier than regular school starts. So I just think that's kind of shitty. That's kind of shitty. Kids should just have a freaking snow day. Anyway, Ron, I don't know ever at all what day it is anymore. So I know today's Friday because this is what I do on Fridays. So we have a few questions coming through. Hey everybody. Hey Crystal. Hey Nancy. Hey Caitlin. Hello, hello, hello. Hi Nicole. Hello, hello. Okay, we have some questions coming in. So let me grab these. Um, Janelle saying, I'm wondering if everyone is feeling off. My body aches for no reason for the last 2 days. And Ricky is saying that she's feeling a little stirred up today. Okay. So, how are you feeling? I have my thoughts, but I'm going to save them. Just, are you feeling that way too? Good morning, Kanita. Good morning, Anna. Let me not forget sponges. I feel like we all need this. Susan says, yes, Janelle, grounded but weird. And I'm kind of with that one. That sounds good. Or she says, different is a better word. Willa says she's feeling sad. Hey, Allie. Good morning, Jennifer. Let's do some smudgies for you, Instagram, and some smudgies for you, YouTube, and for you, TikTok, and for me. All right. And just put a little this on my lips. My lips feel dry. Good morning, Jacinda. Good morning, Jen. Hi, Kate. Hi, Janine. Good morning, Angie. Scott says much weight in the grounding. Janelle says she took a COVID test and she's all clear, so that's good. Peachy Salami says she's stable but defensive. Good morning, Denise. Okay, so let me tell you what I've been feeling, and this kind of came in. So let's see, we're Friday. This is Friday. This week has been really energetically intense because for me, it's like I finally had like one full day that felt like, whoa, I'm finally on after so many months of not feeling like Sarah anymore. Like I haven't felt like myself in quite some time. Like, maybe operating at like 60 to 70% on a good day is kind of how I've been for, probably 6 months or so at least, if time is a thing I can measure. But this week, I finally was like, oof, okay, I feel like me. Things are flowing again. I have energy. Like it's really good. And I would say yesterday I was in such a strange energy. It felt like I wasn't upset necessarily, but I also couldn't tap into any specific emotions. It was just like it was like flat line. It was very flat line and not even numb because that is too much of a feeling. It was just like a really like a low hum. And I described it to my friend Jen yesterday in the morning as though my body was here, but my dominant energy was like somewhere else doing something else. That's what it felt like. Like only like 30% of me was here. And like the dominant part, like where I feel like I'm dominantly here right now, which is good. Most of me felt like it was somewhere else, like having the focus. And so that's what I'm feeling. I literally just woke up like 20 minutes ago. So I'm not fully in my body yet anyway, but I won't say that I feel different than that today. I think I still feel like a lot of me is like off somewhere else being dominantly there and then like the body's here and I'm just kind of like, hmm, okay. So I don't love that feeling and with a good reason because this is the point where this is the default spot where you're supposed to be present in, right? Or so we think at this point. And so when you feel like your dominant energy is not with you, is not in your body, it's really hard to connect to anything around you, right? Because you just feel like you can't connect. But just remember that doesn't last forever. It can last a few days, sure, but in the scheme of things, this is an energy that continues to move. So just know that, like, as uncomfortable as something may be, it's usually there for a reason because so much is shifting and changing with us. So you may need some integration this week. I may need some integration this week. Maybe you need some insight to come through. Who knows? But just follow your bouncing ball is the best advice I can give you right now because things are shifting so rapidly and timelines are shifting so rapidly. Um, and next, we started doing the new Wednesday calls, right? So on Wednesdays, I'm not here live with you anymore. I'm live in a Zoom, and we're doing some more connecting and intensive work during that. And during those sessions, I'm going to start talking to you guys a little bit about like how to more consciously wake up in different timelines and understand that concept. So this year 2022 is all about understanding the quantum energy that we are living in. So feeling that disconnection is really normal. So just know that that's okay. The other thing is we talk about this plenty, but collectively there's a lot of dissonant energy spinning around. So there's high fear levels. And when there's high fear levels, but you're not necessarily living in fear, it can still mess with your vibration. So just be aware that like, do what you need to do to clear your energy at the end of the day and be aware of who you're spending time with, right? Because it's important to make sure that you take care of your energetic hygiene as well. Also, your dreams are probably popping right now, even if you can't remember them right now. I'm exhausted from them. I feel like the ones I had last week, I'm hoping some of them come through. There was some that I really wanted to share, but then I woke up having to go fast and they're gone. But hopefully they come through again. But it's been like really, really vivid and really like um, information coming through, like bits of information that feels pertinent to something. So I'm curious if you guys are feeling that too with the dreams. Like just like, wow, what on earth? What on earth? Kate says, I've been having fever dreams, so they've been wild on top of wild. Ooh, I hope you feel better. Cassie says, all of my dreams are past driven. So many people from my past just popping in, like, why? Um, Dorinda says, me too. Wild and crazy dreams for sure. Vivid as ever. Yep. Um, Cassie, don't forget, and all of you guys, don't forget, we are in prime territory for old people from your past to be popping up energetically or physically, because remember, we are in Venus retrograde until the end of the month. So it in some ways does kind of act like Mercury retrograde with the X's. Um, so you might be having that. You might be having X people, not just like ex lovers, okay? Just like X people popping up again for you. Yeah, it's till the end of the month. So, oh, and that also reminds me, my one announcement for today is that I have 2 spots left for the 8-week Sex, Love, and Your Body workshop. Okay. And this is going to be this is a transitional workshop. So the prices are not going to be like this ever again. I've got 2 spots left. We're going to be working with Venus and retrograde energy and connecting with your body, connecting with your sexuality, and connecting with your relationships. This is a great way to kind of get guided through this Venus retrograde period and start to understand where you're at with your relationships, where you're at with your connection to self, and what it is you do want. So, 8 weeks, I'm keeping the group relatively small so that we can really have some good conversations and kind of show up for each other. So, this is definitely the kind of workshop where, like, don't sign up if you're not ready to share things and to connect, because that's going to be a huge part of it. So, that starts on Amanda's birthday, which is January 11th, next Tuesday. We run for 8 weeks. Everything is recorded. And if you're interested in signing up or learning more, you can find a link in my bio or send me a DM. I'll be keeping registration open through the weekend, but then after that, I'm closing it up and we're off to the races. So I'm excited for that. All right, you ready to get to some card pulls? So we've been doing lady singer songwriters lately, and I've been making you guys some playlists, right? And it's been kind of fun. But this morning we're going to do something different than the singer songwriters. We're going back to basics this morning. We haven't done this in a while. We're going to do colors. So if you've never done sensory card pulls with me before, I'll tell you what that means. You pick one of 3 things. Today it's going to be colors. Pick the one that resonates most with you. And I do 3 collective pulls that align with the colors, and that's how you get your message. If you feel drawn to more than one color, that's totally fine. No problem. Just pick 2 colors. But I'm going to tell you the colors. You think about it and drop the color that resonates with you in the comments. And then I'm shuffling. And today we're pulling again from my favorite Oracle deck, The Wisdom of Avalon by Colette Baron Reed. And don't let me forget, after we do sensory card pulls, I will pull for you guys just a general collective card for the weekend. Okay? All right, here's your colors. The first one is, what is this color? It's like let's say it's magenta. It's magenta. So magenta, the second one is turquoise. And the third it's yellow, but it's like a very like an ochre kind of yellow, like um a deep yellow. Do you know what I'm saying? So magenta, turquoise, yellow. Which color are you feeling this morning? Pop it in the comments, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start doing that. Wait, what book are you talking about? Did I miss something? Okay, so yes. What colors? Magenta, turquoise, or yellow? What do I want to pick today? Let's see. I think I'm going with turquoise too. I love when that happens. Okay, Stacey says all in. It's Friday. Okay. Again, if you're just joining us, we're about to do sensory card pulls to get your message for the weekend. So you're choosing from one or two or three colors, whichever feels resonant with you. We've got magenta, turquoise, and a deep yellow. Freddie, that's not a color. All right. I feel almost done with the shuffling. So let's see. Becky picks turquoise and ochre yellow. I'm taking magenta and turquoise. All right. Well, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Oh my God. Jackie, you're so right. That's totally the printer ink colors. Wow. Very creative, Sarah. All right. Jackie, you ruined this for me. Although one could say those are the best colors because they can make all of the colors from themselves, right? So, all right, here we go. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what's going on, we're choosing from 1, 2, or 3 colors so that you can get your card pulls for this weekend, the sensory card pulls. So what color are you feeling? Are you feeling magenta, turquoise, or a deep yellow? Pop it in the comments what color you're feeling, and I'm about to start. So again, magenta, turquoise, yellow. And I'm shuffling for magenta right now. So go ahead and pop it in the comments what you're feeling. Rebecca is definitely magenta. All right. Here we go. Magenta's coming up. All right. You guys ready? If you chose magenta, this is your story. Here it comes. Well, it's already here, but I'll show it to you. Okay. So we have 2 cards coming up that you have probably got a few times already, and you're going to get them again. It's the frog and the dog. Oh no. What? What's your message? Okay. So if you picked magenta and you've been doing the sensory card pulls with me for a while and you've gotten either the dog or the frog consistently, just know that this is an extra emphasis for you, that like not that you haven't done it, but it's more that like you dipped your toes in and then you're like, ah, it's hot, and you bolted. Don't do that, okay? Stop it. So the dog is here with unconditional loving of self, being the number one cheerleader of self, holding space to love yourself in every mood, every color, every situation, your biggest fan. That's got to be you. You've got to be your biggest fan. If you pulled magenta this morning, you know this and you are wanting to, but there's something that it's challenging your programming and you're glitching a little bit. Okay. And you know what that feels like? It's almost like for some of you it might feel like an actual physical vibration, like when you kind of get into that space. It's like, oh, the boundary was drawn and you're trying to cross it, and every time you go over it, like into it, it's like almost like an electric fence, right? So you need to kind of power yourself up, gas yourself up a little bit to go right through that boundary and understand that on the other side of it, nothing controls you there. So the vibration might have been scary, but on the other side, you're not controlled anymore. So just like, ooh, get out of there, go through, um, and find yourself over there. Loyalty to self, loving yourself, and I feel like the phrase "loving yourself" is too overused. It's overused to the point where it may not even inspire a specific emotion from you besides just like, okay, thanks. I'll do more self love. That sounds great. So, why don't we kind of find a new phrase for what self love actually means? Just be your biggest fan. That's all. Just be your biggest fan. Be interested in the way you navigate life and stop being so fucking mean to yourself all the time. Stop being so critical about every single thing you do. Knock it off. If you aren't critical about every single thing everybody else does all around you all the time, why are you doing that to yourself? Be nice. Now the frog is also here because it's been a week of releasing yourself from the heaviness of past uh okay, maybe that's it. It's been a week of releasing yourself from the heaviness of past. Okay. And much, in a new year energy, there is, of course, a collective push to like reorganize, to clear out old shit, like, just kind of clean slate it. And that's an energy that's very helpful for you right now. So if you're feeling that, like, definitely follow the wave to declutter, to move objects out that have energy that you no longer need in your life, remind you of things that you don't need to be reminded of, like that kind of thing. Okay. And I didn't show you this one right away because I wanted you to focus on these two things. But now I'm going to show you the third card, and it's the Merlin. Okay. It's the Merlin card. The Merlin has a beautiful blue dragon with him. Okay. And he also has like this funny little animal behind him that's like a really cute little bear squirrel type situation. He's sitting in his chair in his beautiful room that's like kind of open to the night sky with pillars, and his, like I said, he's got his dragon sleeping behind him. He's got a book over here. He's chilling on his seat. Confidence. One thing the Merlin is confident in his own power. And when you're confident in your own power, you don't need to convince anybody that you have it. Okay? You don't. He's not dressed fancy. He's just wearing like a very plain robe because he doesn't need to impress anybody. He's already impressive to himself. He probably doesn't speak very loud, and he does not insist upon himself. And this is you this year, stepping in with all the power, moving slow, and letting things come to you. Okay? So that is your magenta thing. Next up is turquoise. Good morning. All right, next up is turquoise. If you're just joining, we're doing sensory card pulls, and next up is turquoise, and then after that is yellow. So if you're just joining, maybe pick from what the two colors that resonate with you, turquoise or yellow, or just listen to both of them and just pull what resonates that you need for today. Okay? Yeah, I hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. That YouTube's acting weird. Thankfully, I'm streaming on 3 things simultaneously, so you can always hop around. Just so you guys know, like if you haven't been here before, I'm streaming on TikTok, I'm streaming on my Instagram, and I'm streaming on YouTube Live. So you can choose whichever streaming feels best to you. I think based off of what I've observed and heard from you guys, that Instagram is the most stable at this time. But I can see that, Scott. You have deep Merlin vibes. All right, here we go. Turquoise. Okay, listen. So I just pulled these three cards. And do you ever like see a word and your brain sees it as a different word and then you see what the word really is? We're going to go with just touching upon the word that I saw. So this card is protection. Turquoise people. This card is protection. But when I pulled it out, I saw very clearly the word perfection. That for a second. Okay. You've got protection, perfection, the earth fairy, and the deer. Okay. But let's talk about perfection and what that means. So if you chose turquoise, perfection is probably a word for you that is loaded. I mean, it's probably loaded for all of us. We all want everything to be perfect, right? And a lot of times, even if we understand they can't be perfect, we hinge or we wait upon the achievement of perfection in order to do something, to move into a new space, to take a chance, whatever it is, right? Or we think we have to be perfect in some way to deserve good things. Perfection is the carrot dangling on the stick. It's a trick that takes you outside of yourself, okay? Because think about this. In order for us to achieve perfection in the way it's been described to us, there can only be one right way of being, looking, and doing. So that means there's one standard of being a human that is perfect, and we're all striving to be that. If you subscribe to that idea, then you are working towards perfection based off of a societal idea of what perfection is. The issue is that we're all very different in all ways, shapes, and forms. And we're so different on purpose. We're unique on purpose. And for us all to try to be the same is a massive and actually wonderfully clever way to farm our energy because we're all throwing our energy in one direction, feeling scattered, not sovereign, and constantly beating ourselves up for not meeting the standard and not being perfect. So while we're busy trying to be perfect according to this vague societal standard, we're not using our energy to create a life that we would actually enjoy living in. Okay? To create a life that is supportive to who we actually are, not to this fake ideal of perfection of a person that is never going to exist. Okay? Social media has shown us time and time again. And I love what's happening now where people are starting to show themselves as more realistic, right? And I'll tell you a quick story about how I started doing live videos because I think it's been a little over 3 years since I started going live. I started going live on Facebook. And the reason I started was because I would see all of these live videos of people getting on these live videos and saying, like, oh, I up, la la la, I don't have any makeup on, blah blah. And they'd be so clearly wearing fake eyelashes and a full face of makeup. And I'm like, well, that makes me feel shit. Like, you mean do people really believe you wake up looking like that? And I'm like, that doesn't feel real to me. So I started going live as a challenge to myself that I would put my like morning naked face out there and just say like fuck it, like this is what I look like in the morning. And at the time, and you can still go and find all of these videos because they're on my Facebook page. um, I was growing out a buzz cut, and so my hair in the morning was like in all different cowlick formations, and I indeed had not a bit of makeup on, okay? And, looking at those videos, I'm like, "Oh, wow, Sarah, look at you." But that did something for me. It broke through a barrier for me that I didn't have to show up perfect in order to deliver a helpful message. And, at that time, I was very simple with my card pulls. I was like, this is what I'm pulling. I wasn't as confident as I am now. It was 3.5 years ago. But through the process of doing that, I started to understand that, like, my idea of perfection didn't exist. And I didn't need to be that in order to, be helpful and be meaningful and be part of this, right? So now, fast forward to now, it's kind of one of those things where one of the biggest parts of what I do is to show you that you can be all of the things. You can be a hot mess. You can be very magical and intelligent. You can have days where you don't get out of bed. You can have days where you conquer the fucking world. You are allowed to hold all of those things, and it's okay to show them to people. It's okay to do that. It's okay to say, like, today it's okay to say, hey, like, and I do this all the time, it. I'm taking a week off because I'm having a burnout, right? Like, it's important for us to know just because we are doing our work and leveling up all the time, and some of us are helping people, supporting people in our businesses, and leaders of things. It's ever more important to show people who you truly are so that they don't think that they are less than because they're having normal things happen in their life and they're not feeling on all the time. It's so toxic to tell people that they always have to be happy, that they always have to be on, that they always have to look good, that they always have to present their best face forward and fake it if they make it. It's not cool. So normalizing your normal self and understanding that your perfection is how you are at any particular moment and how you show up, that is your magenta message, and probably a message for all of us this morning. I'm not interested in seeing your fake self. Are you interested in seeing my fake self? Right? If that's what we're interested in, there's other places we could be. But that's not what we're here to do. Okay? So there's that. That's your perfection message. Now, for the magenta people, we have protection, the earth fairy, and the deer. This is all about you connecting with your body. There's something going on with your body that is very transformative. It's a very, what's that word? It's a sacred transformation. All right. And it has to do with you connecting deeply to your body. The deer is also here because at the same time, you have to start treating your body with that kind of gentleness, that tenderness, like not a hard, rough touch anymore. So we're kind of holding space for our body and allowing our body to do some healing work and to expand the way that it works and holds energy. So that's happening for magenta people right now. But the main message was that perfection thing, I think. Okay. So anyway, long-winded, but that was magenta. No, that was turquoise. Was I saying magenta over and over again? Don't worry about it. It was turquoise. Thank you, Dorinda. I told you, 30% here. So next up is going to be the deep yellow, the yellow ochre. What's freaky? Yeah, maybe. I'm not worried about it. All right. Last up, yellow ochre. All right. Okay. These kind of look somewhat familiar. Okay, so yellow ochre. Here are the cards. You've got the wealth card, forgiveness, and trust. Let's talk about this one first, obviously. This is This is kind of a big one. And so even if you didn't pick yellow, just if it resonates, just make sure you take this one, put it in your back pocket today. You not forgiving is creating a huge block to wealth. Forgiveness is necessary to move into the next energy. That's like you are unblocking that. And so let's talk about what forgiveness means. If you are, if you have had a situation with another person and they have done something to you that you're just like, you suck and this was very bad, and they may or may not have apologized, whatever it is, but whatever's going on, you haven't forgiven them for this. You haven't let go of it, okay? Because there's a part of you that feels that if you let go of it, they're not going to get punished. There's going to be a karmic imbalance. And I have news for you. You are not in charge of doling out karma. Did you know that? You are not the one in charge of other people's fates. You are not the one who says, you did this, so you'll be punished this way. And if you didn't know that, or you are realizing as I'm saying it that maybe that's the way you've been acting, you really need to pay attention to this. All you're doing by holding a grudge is making yourself sick and toxic. I promise you that the other person has either completely moved on or is experiencing this in a very different way. Your perception becomes your reality. And forgiveness doesn't mean that the person is off the hook, because energy is energy. So if you're putting out a dishonest, unkind energy and you treat people in that fashion, and you don't realize it, and or you don't want to see it, and you don't do anything to kind of connect with that, then you're going to get that energy back in some way, shape, or form, whether you agree or not agree. It's going to come back to you because that's what you're putting out. So you don't have to worry about other people getting theirs. Life hands it to them. You don't need to. And all you're doing by holding on is making yourself unhappy. So give yourself the gift of letting go so that you can step into the energy that's waiting for you, that doesn't have space for you holding on to old grudges. Now, that could mean forgiving people, but a lot of times the person that we have the hardest time forgiving is ourselves. Okay? And so if that's you, if you need to forgive yourself for something, it's the same thing. Okay? The you right now, the you who's present today, who's, sitting here watching this live, we're chatting, all that stuff. The you right now is not the same you as 6 months ago. It's not the same you as 6 years ago. Something you 10, 15 years ago, if you're still holding on to feeling bad about that, you are directly connecting yourself to a point in time 10 to 15 years ago that is preventing you from being fully here in the present moment. You're throwing your energy back there and you can't do anything there. That's the thing. To affect all space and time, you have to be operating from your present moment energy source. If you are projecting into the future, that's your anxiety, right? That's what anxiety feels like, projecting into future situations that may or may not happen. And if you're throwing your energy into the past, that is you getting heavy and depressed energy and not being in the present. But here, this place right here is where you can actually affect change, where you can do the healing. Okay? So forgiving, forgiving, and letting yourself go, right? So that you can be here and actually do your work and actually help yourself a little bit, right? Instead of, wallowing in fucking self pity all the time. Like, oh, I wish I had done that differently. Imagine if I had done this, then this would have happened and that would have happened. Who fucking cares, dude? That's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time to even talk about it with you, right? Like that happens, right? Sometimes we do need to have those conversations. And as friends to our friends, right, we hold space for the indulgence of conversations of what might have happened, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? Sure. But if that is your narrative of life, that like, oh man, like should have done this, could have done that. Imagine if this had happened, maybe I wouldn't be in this shitty spot right now. What are you doing? You're in the shitty spot right now. So who fucking cares? Like you talking about it is not going to do anything except make you a very annoying person. Okay? So pull yourself here into the present moment and ask yourself, how do I feel now? How do I feel in this moment? Who am I? What am I going to do today? And stop basing all of your feelings and decisions off of things that you coulda, woulda, shoulda back here or that might happen over here. What is happening is right here in the present moment, and you are directing that symphony with your crazy wands. You're doing that. So forgiveness. Now, you've also got the trust and the wealth card. The wealth card is what's being blocked by you not being in the present moment. And this card is abundance card. All right. So, we could get into a whole discussion about money and abundance, but just remember that if you have a clinging, cloying, needy energy when it comes to money, money's going to run away from you, because money is energy and it's like the opposite side of the magnet. Okay. So if you're like, I need you, come here, let me clutch you, let me hold you, that energy is going to slip away from you because energy wants to continually move. Okay. So when I say wealth, it does absolutely apply to money, because money is the physical third dimensional manifestation of energetic currency, right? We use it to make things appear in the physical dimension. It's just energy. We give it way too much power and way too much personality. It's just energy. So you're blocking a huge flow of energy by not allowing your energy to be in the present moment. If you're here in the present moment, you'll be able to react to things in live time, and the decisions you make will put you on whatever path you need to be on to be in a higher level than you are right now. And that's what's coming for you. Trust card is just what it says. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust the message is coming to you. Trust where you're at. Okay? So that is your yellow. Don't leave yet. Remember, I'm pulling one more collective card. I hope those resonated with you this morning. We're actually gonna do a pull this morning from a deck I don't use that often, but it's been staring at me all morning. So we're gonna do that. It's from the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish. So we're gonna do a collective pull from that. I'm gonna shuffle. Reminder: 2 spots left for the next 8-week workshop with me. If you want more of me, we start this Tuesday. If you want to learn more, you can find that information in the link in my bio, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. 2 more spots. There's 3 payment options, and this is going to be the last workshop at these current prices. So get in it. Get in it. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. I think it's really great is I was just looking at the list of people who are currently signed up for it. It's like I feel like we're family now because you guys have been in like the last 3 workshops with me. I kind of like it. It's okay. Yeah, definitely breathe. Do some breathing. All right. Also drink some water. I am a horrible, I have in the past been horrible at drinking water, even though I'm well aware of why a person should drink water. And I tell you guys too all the time, like it's really made a huge difference. So get ready for this skin to be glowing because it will no longer be chronically dehydrated. It's the simple things, It's the simple things. We get there when we get there. All right. Here it comes. That's what she said. Ooh. So it's number one in the deck. I've never pulled. I don't honestly use this deck that much, but I've never seen this card. It's one, and it's beauty. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see what the story is. One thing I noticed in this card is there are lotus flowers in it. All right. Excuse me. Beauty, the sensing of something deeply harmonious and pleasing to the eye and to the soul, is a form of great divinity. Beauty, in some ways, is considered to be an artifice, something that can be approximated and conjured through makeup, hairstyles, behaviors, and other forms of camouflage and cover. But true, deep beauty, such as the kind the mermaids know and see, is the kind that emanates out from a soul that knows itself. Beauty is not an illusion, but an emanation from the soul that shines out. And to wish to be beautiful, to wish to have this set of oneself, is simply the yearning for the soul's perfections to be acknowledged. Humans are also at present very narrow in their definitions of beauty. For there is also beauty in our aged ones, in their white hair and tired eyes. There is beauty in asymmetry of injuries and the irregularities of form that befall so many. If this card has come to you, it is time for you to understand that your own beauty must be acknowledged and tended to, not with the unseeing eyes of a culture that wishes to sell you the fear that your form is imperfect and make a culture of neurotics who fear being rejected for their lack of youth and shiny hair. This beauty is deeper. It is to shine. It is to enhance and become your own true self. It is to be as healthy and as well as you can be at this moment. It is to speak not only words that may be true, but words which are also kind and graceful, nourishing to the souls of others, supportive of their potential and their own beauty. Beauty cannot be separated from appearance, but the way in which you regard yourself will immediately impact upon those who regard you. If you do not regard yourself with eyes that can see your own beauty, that beauty may well go unseen by others. Even our young and undeniably beauteous ones are often unable to see their own form as lovely. Always, we teach them to find fault and then spend their energy fixing themselves, when all the while there was a far greater task for them. If you have received this card, make every act of self regard one in which you can see your beauty. Undertake your beauty rituals with intent and great import and care, and awaken the beauty that is longed to shine out from you. The tools we mermaids have been gifted with are also our gifts to you. Our comb represents the precious and sacred nature of caring for your physical selves. In acknowledging that your bodies deserve time and reverence, there is a ritualistic element to all beauty routines that can be lifted out of the mundane and commercial world and into the sacred, making of your bodies an honored temple which you love and respect and demonstrate gratitude for. By honoring your body, you honor most deeply your soul and the spark of life itself. I love that. I love that. That's perfect. So, thank you, mermaids, for that one. I hope you feel that. I hope you feel all the things from that. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'll see you again on Monday. I'm just going to leave it there. Goodbye, friends.